somebody you rely on to kind of look into some of those things, or
not too much.
okay.
He knows what I'm doing, so that's probably enough. But I don't ask him.
Well, I know you mentioned the NBA is kind of the route, but if the opportunity ever arose to be able to return to Duke, is that something you would entertain?
If the opportunity arose, I would probably consider it, yes. But they got a long line there, and I don't want to leapfrog anybody or screw up the system in any way. So that's a tough if. I don't see that happening, so I'm not really even thinking about that. Now, if they had, one coach, Coach K, and then one assistant, and they needed someone else, then I would consider it.
What are your thoughts on Coach K's ability to develop big men? There's been some criticism, negative recruiting about that recently. As one of the first?
I haven't heard that, and he's had a lot of great big men, so I don't know where that comes from. I see him doing a great job developing every size out there that he has, and coaching for 30 years in the same spot for so long, sometimes criticism creeps out, but I don't think it's relevant.
Can a small guy or a guard coach a big man? Is that a problem, or have you had small guys?
Any size can coach any size. It just matters how good of a coach they are. That's all.
Christian, confidence is always a big part of your game when you're at Duke and beyond. When did you first gain that confidence? At what point in your life did that really kind of come full circle for you?
Well, you gain a little confidence when you're in high school and you play against Alonzo Mourning and Billy Owens at 5-Star Camp, and you realize you can play with them somewhat. So that's where it starts. And then once you get recruited by Duke, then it really starts bubbling over. And then once you sign with Duke and go to Duke and play at Duke, then it really starts building. And, so the college years was when it really started forming.
Can you go back for a moment when you were recruited by Krzyzewski, and can you just touch base on that for 1 second? What that was like when you knew you were going to actually pull the trigger for this school?
It was the greatest thing. To be recruited by him at that time, they were really hot. They just, got on like the national stage. And Coach K and Duke were really hot, and then to have him recruit you is just like I said, a confidence boost, a blessing, one of the best days of your life. So I loved it, I looked forward to it, and he seemed so charismatic from a distance that I just wanted to play for him, and then it all ended up, coming true. He was a great coach.
How much of an honor is it for you, first of all, back-to-back national championships? Your records just permeate the NCAA tournament if you go and look at those. Because when that time of year rolls around, how many people stop you on the streets and want to talk to you about that kind of thing? I mean, there's been so much made of the shot over the years and different things.
It happens a lot, and it happens more so during, March Madness, and it's a part of my life, and I usually love it. It's usually very enjoyable. Every once in a while, it's a little awkward, but like I said, it seems to take on a special level when March Madness rolls around, especially if Duke is involved deep into the tournament.
Christian, one last thing. I loved your confidence when you played here. That was a very special thing, almost cockiness, if you will, which is a good thing. Nobody would change anything about you and what you did for this university. But I haven't seen that in a player since. What is the missing? I mean, what is the magic there? What is it that a kid can learn from to push the rest of his team through, just in the ways that you did, just to instill confidence in them, push them to be their best, so forth, so on?
Well, it might come down to genetics and just your genetic makeup, because my two daughters have it, that's for sure, and I've never said a word to them about competing or competition or fighting or wrestling or being tough or anything like that. But they're 15 and 13 years old, and they fight like cats and dogs, and it's just crazy. So they have what I have, and it wasn't from anything that I taught them by word of mouth.
Right.
So who knows what it is? I just had this fire in me. Maybe it's my Buffalo upbringing or my Polish-German roots, I don't know, my parents. But it was really fueled by Coach K when I was here, in terms of him encouraging it, in terms of him focusing it the right way. Christian more encouraging your teammates, and then maybe jumping down their throats every once in a while. So, and they did it to me when I was a freshman. Danny Ferry and Quinn Snyder did it to me when I was a freshman. So it was a process. It was somewhat learned from Coach K and from the whole Duke system. It's partially genetic too.
Thank you for your time, Christian.